Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. I've just seen Hoppers, the newest film from Pixar, and I have to talk about it. Okay, I've seen a lot of trailers before going into this film, and it looked interesting where the main character is transferring her consciousness into a robotic beaver, and it just looked cute and funny and imaginative, like most Pixar films. And it's Pixar. I love Pixar films. They're part of my childhood and they still deliver in all fronts. Maybe some of them aren't as good as the others, but usually it gives me a good time and I just end up having a lot of fun. And you know what? That was Hoppers. I thought Hoppers was super delightful. It wasn't like one of the best Pixar films out there, but it was definitely one of the stronger ones. The whole film had this energy that was just so well implemented into the whole narrative and the design of the film. Just from the animation, from the whole like the movement of the characters and the how fast the film actually goes was super impressive. But yeah, what is Hopper's about? Hopper's about a character named Mabel, who's a college student. She's an environmental activist basically, and she wants to, protect this glade that her grandmother and her bonded over. And there's a lot of animals there, like beaver dams and, so many animals that she wants to protect because the mayor of the city wants to build a bridge over that glade and like the dam, that will ruin the whole environment of the animals that are living there. And it's very special to her, so she wants to save it. But when she learns that Jerry had cleared the whole area, cleared the animals out, she thinks, how can I bring some beavers back so they can build another dam and then, prove that animals are still living here. So that's the whole point. And then she ends up finding one of her college teachers has a machine that can put the consciousness of a human into a robot that is an animal, a real life looking animal. And then, she puts her whole consciousness into a beaver robot and the story just gets going from there. I thought the story was very interesting. I thought, obviously Pixar films are aimed for kids. Adults can enjoy too, but like I thought it was a good way to encourage kids to, keep the environment safe, keep, be nice to animals, keep them happy, and the messaging of don't interfere with the whole food pyramid system and the cycle of life. I thought that was good messaging, but it's not just that. This film has a lot of heart, even though the robot there's no heart. But yeah, it has a lot of heart. It is very endearing and funny, and overall I just had a very, very good time. I thought, like I said, the animation, it was definitely the best thing about it. The animation had so much character, like how the animals moved and how they looked. It just had a lot of interesting designs put into it, and I loved. Definitely the best thing about the film, animation is great, but the best thing about the film is how the animals switch from what they look like talking to each other to when they talk to a human. So when they talk to each other, they have like the, realistic eyes, like the Pixar eyes. They're all cute and squishy. And then when a human character sees them and they try to talk to them or interact with them, it just becomes like the black dot eyes. And it just makes them so funny and cute. I just love that dynamic. And they really lean into that near the end. That was so funny to watch. And the characters in the film were full of life and joy. Like Jerry as a villain was cool. Titus, who is voiced by Dave Franco. I think he should do more voice work because, dude, literally he carried the whole scenes that he was in it. He was a scene stealer. He was great. Like, he was so over the top, but like so entertaining to watch. I thought it was really cool. The Beaver King George, who is the king of the mammals, he was a delightful character to watch. Mabel as a main character, I thought she was pretty solid, and she carried the film really, really well. I know I mentioned Dave Franco, like there's John Hamm and other voice actors that are very recognizable. I thought everyone did a great job. Everyone had a great voice range and just, energy that just they put into this film. And I also mentioned the word energy a lot because this film is super energetic. It flew by. It's only 1.5 hours, but like the speed that they were going, it was like just, dude, this is crazy. Okay, it's not like the Mario film crazy, but it was a bit faster than a usual Pixar film, which I kind of appreciated, but it also brought out some nitpicks for me. Like some scenes didn't flesh out that much, and I thought some of the scenes could have had a bit more, I don't know, like that Pixar heartbreaking sadness into it. I'm not talking about up level of stuff, but like, maybe like an Inside Out or just like some more endearing scenes could have made the film a bit better for me. It was missing that Pixar sadness heart, if you get what I mean. They have the joyful heart. This is not an inside out joke or reference, I'm just talking. They have the joyful heart, but they were missing like the sad part of the film. And some scenes were a bit sad, like when George, the actual beaver, learns that she is not an actual beaver, and then he thinks the robot has passed away, and he's like trying to hug and touch the beaver. I thought those scenes were quite sad, but overall the messaging is more important, and it is definitely carried by the animation. And I will say that this is the best animated Pixar film, like design wise, since Turning Red. If you've seen Turning Red, you'll know what I mean. Turning Red was super anime influenced, and this is super anime influenced too. I don't mean the overall look, I mean like the expressions and like the way the characters moved was super influenced by Turning Red. I feel like there's definitely a lot of action in the film, which was really interesting, and some creepy imagery by the end, which, you know, like it or not, was quite different for a Pixar film. Overall, I did enjoy it. It is definitely not like one of the best Pixar films. It will not be in my top 5 or 10, but it's definitely closer to there than the bottom. I think this is a good watch. It goes by quick. It's a short film, fun, funny, good characters, good messaging. You know, by the end, pretty solid conclusion, which I'm gonna say that part did have a sad heart that I kept mentioning, like the Pixar sad heart into it, and it was very bittersweet for me. Yeah, I liked Hoppers a lot. Well, what do you think? Please let me know in the comments, like how does it compare to other Pixar films, and like did you like it overall? I think, you know, parents and kids will have a great time watching this film. I did as an adult. I thought it was a, you know, fun film. But yeah, thank you very much for watching my video, and I'll see everyone on the next one. Peace.